So we got a new Surface product, the Surface Go 2, which continues this progression towards the what is a laptop conversation. Well, I mean, this thing doesn't claim to be a laptop. It's not called a laptop, but when you pair it up with their signature type cover, it takes the form of a laptop and a tablet, and it's all, well, you know, it's very blurry, but that could be a good thing depending on the user. It gives you versatility. You can pop this off, you're sitting on the couch, you're watching Netflix, you throw it on here to get some work done. And I kind of like what Microsoft has done to the industry in terms of rethinking the idea of what a laptop is, but still providing you with a keyboard or type cover that gives you a tactile feedback. That was my main criticism with the iPad Pro keyboard on the previous generation. I haven't tried the new one yet. I will soon. But I didn't like the squishy keyboards that were out there for tablets in the past, aiming to make them more like laptops. Microsoft, with the Surface lineup in general, was always trying to still give you a laptop because ultimately their product still runs Windows, and Windows is best interacted with a keyboard and trackpad for the time being. It's still, I mean, it works as a tablet as well, but it's a sit-down operating system first and foremost. So the Surface Go 2 takes the previous version and upgrades it. It gives you a bigger display in the same form factor, so you have less of a bezel. That's kind of a must when it comes to an upgrade, or it's at least welcome on my end. This specification that I have features the Core M3 processor. It seems to me this is the one you're going to want to go for because it gives the device significantly more oomph. You know what I'm saying? Compared to the baseline model, which has a Pentium Gold chip that I don't think anybody wants, unless you're on a very, very strict budget. This one also has 128 gigs of storage, 8 gigs of RAM, and I guess Platinum stands for the color that this is in. Windows 10 Home. There's also an LTE version, support for LTE Advanced Pro. I don't know if this one has LTE in it, but there is an LTE version available if you want to throw a SIM card into it. Another nice thing about these products, because they're tablets that also happen to be typable, the video conferencing, the webcam on here, is a 5 megapixel 1080p capable. So in the previous video, I was showing off the potato cam in the new MacBook 13. That's not going to be the case with this one. It's going to have better webcam performance. Actually, not just for web conferencing, Zoom, and so on, but also for unlocking the device, because this does have Windows Hello also, so you can do the face unlock. All right, let's crack into this first, and then we'll get into the type cover. Type cover comes in a couple of different versions. You can get the premium one, the Alcantara. I think that's what this one is, right? Yes, you see that word? That word costs money. If you ever see that word, whether you're buying a car or a type cover, it's going to cost you a few extra bucks. Alcantara. Look at that little guy. That's kind of cute. So I think this machine is going to be popular for people who want some nice battery life. They said they improved the battery life up to about 10 hours now. They want something ultra super portable, sort of in iPad territory, but still want a full operating system, still need to run Windows applications. Well, that's kind of where this thing comes in. So you can see right out of the gate here, they identify what's in your different locations. Oh, this is an LTE capable version because it does have the SIM card tray. Power switch, dedicated volume buttons on the top. The microphone is there, camera for Windows Hello, another microphone on the other side. There's a headphone jack, USB port, and a power port. Also, remaining items in the package, SIM card tool, a little bit of paperwork, and I guess this is going to be the charger. Now, you guys know I love magnets. I'm a big magnet guy. Their proprietary charger uses magnets, and it's one of the only ways I'm willing to accept a proprietary connector in 2020 is if it is a slight improvement or it does include magnets. I mean, that's the only way to improve it, really, so it pops out easily. But it is a strange... I'll find myself time and time again reaching for trying to find one of these chargers. See, they do have a Type-C port, but this is the charger, obviously, that they're recommending, and they've been doing it for a while now. So if you kick it when you walk by, it just pops out. This is a nice portable little charger here. It's 24 watts. Platinum color with the matte finish on the back. I think it's pretty decent looking. You have a camera facing backwards as well. Of course, the ever-important stand is really what makes a Surface, in my opinion. Of course, the Surface brand has expanded into traditional laptops, but that's your magic right there. You can pick any angle, including all the way down to an angle that's nice to draw on. It's versatility, any angle all the way down, and built into a stand that really doesn't add tremendous bulk to the product. Whereas if you compare that to something like an iPad, you're gonna have to add an accessory to be able to angle it and get a nice viewing angle. On the bottom of the device, you have your connection points for your accessories for that type cover. Over here's the Type-C connector that I mentioned earlier, as well as that proprietary charge port headphone jack. Now, the main thing I'm happy about on this device is the shrinking of the bezels. I also like the fact that there's 2 stereo speakers. They're facing you. They're going towards your ears. That's a big time deal. That's a big brain move, as the youngsters like to say. I'm gonna just leave that over there for a moment. We'll get into the type cover real quick. You guys know it by now. It's been an ongoing thing here. I'm very picky about keyboards in general, and of course it's a compromise you make when you need portability. It's just the nature of the thing. You gotta shrink down the sizes, and therefore you shrink down your keyboards, you shrink down your key travel. But to me, as far as the tablet keyboard, weird connection type of keyboards are concerned, they've had some of the best. They're not mushy. There is some click to it. The quick brown, it is smaller. It's important to note. It's definitely, per key, it's smaller. They had to shrink it into a 10-inch form factor here, but given some time, I think with the tactile feedback, you're going to be able to adapt to it and get used to it and embrace it. Trackpad is down in this location here, and since this is the Alcantara version, you have this. Do you want to hear that? Now you got some quick function keys on the top here for the backlight on the keyboard, volume controls. They also exist on the tablet, as I said previously, multimedia, brightness, and so on. And the whole thing, I mean, it's just, that's fun. Speaking of magnets, that's fun. And it's strong. Wow, that's some strong magnetic connection. It's a good time. Big magnet guy. Told you before. I'll tell you again. Boom. So the keyboard has this kind of secondary spot as well, where it'll sit up like that with a little bit of an angle to it, or flat on the desk. It does depend on the angle of your Surface Go, whether or not it's going to sit there. If you start looking in the direction of a laptop, this thing, the footprint is way smaller. If you're talking about a tray table or a little cafe or on the bedside table, I mean, this thing is going to fit anywhere with this 10-inch display. So it's actually more comparable to something like an iPad from a form factor perspective than a full-on laptop, and certainly from a weight perspective as well. Here's the 11-inch iPad Pro, and I'll just put them beside each other. This one with the old keyboard cover, the old type cover, whatever name they had for it, before it became Magic. It has less depth to it. There's no trackpad on it. But if you're just examining the width and the height, it's almost identical. Now they're also in different price categories, which is kind of interesting, because the iPad, as we're well aware, is a completely mobile OS. Whereas on the Microsoft product, it's equally tiny, but it's full Windows. Even for the overhead camera, we can get a really nice shot because we have this impossible angle that is available to us. So we're at the point now to register the face in there. And that little glimpse into the webcam quality was quite promising. It looked half decent. Camera looks a billion times better. Yeah, that's a webcam. Should I let me run a sample here for you. This is the webcam, typical studio environment for me here on the new Surface Go 2. They said they improved the audio as well, so we'll get a taste for that. But I actually think this is going to be a popular choice for a little video conferencing machine, which is important to people right now, given the state of the world. It's inexpensive, it's approachable, it starts at $400, and you get something that around the house can take on many forms. It could be a tablet on the couch, it could be business during the conference, and you could type something up if you need to. Now on these devices, multimedia, huge component as well. People want to watch video on something like this. It's probably going to have better battery life than whichever old laptop they might be replacing, and when you just pick it up like this, hit the couch, little Netflix session. Oh, little pro tip, when you're holding this thing with the extra grip that the stand gives you, see what I'm saying over here? Okay, we drop it back in, push it down. Let's load up some YouTube real quick. And I'm gonna boost the quality. I don't think this thing can play 4K. Should we try?
Stating the pros, one stating the cons, just to showcase.
Oh wow! This is playing back 4K right now. I didn't think it was gonna have the horsepower for it on the full browser version of YouTube, but you can see the little 4K icon is activated there. This is an unbox therapy video playing smoothly in 4K on the Surface Go. Now, this is a spec'd up Surface Go. You're gonna pay over $600 for this version. I think you're really gonna want that Intel Core M3. All right, let me turn up the volume.
After those videos have been published, people out there listening to some of the cons with the device, the antiquated design, and so on, and saying, well, if I do have $400...
I mean, I'm happy they're facing me. The language, the dialogue in there is very clear, but I'd like a little more volume there.
To spend on a smartphone. Link to cross shop, and so that's where these two devices come in today.
It's kind of unfortunate because I talked about this in yesterday's video with the new MacBook Pro 13. Apple is doing a tremendous job in speaker quality, not just on their laptops, but also on their iPads. And I get it. This thing starts at like $400, and an iPad Pro with a keyboard case is way above that price point, so you can't ask for everything. But it would have been nice as the ultimate multimedia machine with the hefty battery life and the improved display. Hit me with the speakers, and we got the whole package, don't we? And of course, Microsoft came out with their new Bluetooth headphones. They probably want you wearing those with this thing. That's the reason. That's why. So who should get this device? Who is this for? It really starts at $399. An actual product like this, minus the keyboard. I think everybody's gonna want the keyboard. But still, to start it at $399 puts it in the territory, if you're comparing to Apple, of those budget lineup iPads. For what it's worth, as many quality tablet applications that exist on the iPad side, some people still need a full-out operating system for a number of reasons. I hear students tell me they need a particular application for a program that they're in that they have to install in Windows. I just hear it from time to time. And so now you can kind of, that individual can have a package here in this price category that might be able to get done everything they need to get done. I was very surprised to find out this thing is playing, streaming 4K video content. I think the horsepower should be there for most student-style applications. Probably have seen some laptops, full-out laptops at that price point that might be more powerful than this. But what those laptops won't have is this capability to just do this, leave this, sit on the couch. Like I said, YouTube machine, Netflix machine, and it's so lightweight. See, that's the thing. Trying to figure out what is the optimal size for a tablet. Of course, I've tried both of the iPad Pros, the big one, the little one. There's something about the 10 to 11 inch size with small-ish bezels that just gives you a really comfortable couch situation. And that's what this is in this format. Then you get the stand and the keyboard, and all the work comes to life. And then, of course, the other thing to talk about is the fact that Microsoft makes other Surface products at higher price points that you might want to consider if you're looking for more power. But I think this thing is kind of fun. I'm happy that it exists, especially at the price that it does exist. I know there's a lot of humans out there on old laptops that don't do anything beyond what a laptop does. In other words, it's a single hinge, it comes up, there's no touch input. And here we have something that sort of takes you more into the modern computing space, as many people see it, with a convertible approach and a package that folds up, super portable. And if the battery is even close to what Microsoft claims, then you've got something kind of cool, in my opinion. It is the new Microsoft Go 2 improved battery life, better screen to body ratio with a bigger display, LTE capability, at least if you opt for it in this particular model. And don't forget that usable, nice quality webcam.